Hello and welcome to this preview of the African Regional Conference 2017. My name is Brian Caplen, I'm editor of The Banker, and I'm here with Alain Raes, Swiss Chief Executive for Europe, Middle East, Africa and Asia Pacific. Alain, welcome. And we're facing a very challenging landscape globally. What are the particular challenges that Africa faces, and obviously going to be discussed at the conference?
Sure. But perhaps before talking about the challenges that the African financial community is facing, let me give you actually a broader perspective about what I believe to be the key challenges that the financial industry overall is facing nowadays, not believing that I think Africa is facing more or less the same ones. First of all, clearly there is the influence of new technologies. You see everywhere in the world new technologies popping up. Many people are talking about DLT, the blockchain technology that is popping up as well. Many other developments happening in the IT environment that are significantly impacting the fashion industry. Everyone now is looking at the banks, the fashion industry delivering all of its services through different channels that are much more user-friendly for the end customer. So clearly a big impact that is not having on the industry.
Which means for the banks getting rid of all the legacy systems and starting all over again.
That means actually massive investment that the industry will have to undertake over the next couple of years to making sure that they can actually start competing against what we call the new entrants. New companies, IT firms that are actually taking profit of having actually a very slow-moving financial industry to getting into the market and delivering new services in a much faster way and an efficient way than actually the industry can do itself.
But presumably in Africa, in some ways, they didn't have so much of the legacy systems, so they have a little bit of an advantage, perhaps, in going forward.
Indeed, actually, they have these sort of advantages that they can start what I would call from an empty sheet and start really fast-tracking, leapfrogging, and delivering these new services. Best example that you have in there, actually, I think we're talking about that one since many years in Kenya, where a new firm developed a real-time payment services, GSM to GSM, that is highly efficient and that managed over the, I think, 5 years to conquer more than 50% of the market share.
Okay. Now, the other challenge that Africa faces is in diversifying its economies, a big task. How can the financial sector help with that task?
Well, I think the financial centers should be very much at the very center of this, right? I mean, if you want to have a very efficient economy moving forward, if you want to have growth, you need to have all the infrastructures that will enabling and supporting this growth. The same way you need to have, for having an efficient economy, you need to have roads, harbors, airports and all that. You need also to have financial infrastructures. These are payment systems, these are securities delivery systems, all the systems actually that support and enhance the delivery of financial products to the end customers. And clearly the industry has to play a role into this. If they don't, others will do. Let me tell you, clearly there are many other companies that are more than eager to step into this market and play a role into that. So clearly the market is expanding the industry to keep developing those systems. There are already some examples, like for instance in South Africa, you have this new system called Raes. It's actually a cross-border payment service, that's a high-value payment service that's offered in between different countries in southern part of Africa, and that is really developing the service that people want to have as well.
Okay, now back to problems that we're all facing, and cyber attacks is one that everybody in the financial sector faces. Yeah. Are there particular issues that Africa faces on the cybersecurity front, and how can an organisation like SWIFT help them to deal with it?
I think this is really a massive transformation that is happening in the financial industry. Likewise, it is happening in any other industry in the world, even actually to everyone actually living on this planet. That is basically telling that you don't actually, as you've seen some movies like Die Hard and Goldfingers and all that, that means that basically, you don't need to have machine guns and all that to attacking a central bank. Actually, you can do it back of your laptop in your salon and actually hijacked and get actually a lot of money.
But that's kind of the scary thing about it, isn't it?
It is actually a very scary thing. It's something that's been highlighted with the heist of Bangladesh. That is now we want to tackle very forcefully as a community, as an industry. And SWIFT actually is going to help this.
Or what specific measures are you helping African banks to take then?
Well, I mean, it's not only African banks, by the way. We're doing this actually across the board, across the world. We want to impose a certain number of measures to the industry to making sure that not only they're using actually our network, which is actually has proven to be not compromised, very sure, very safe and all that, but also to making sure that at the periphery, at the edge, where you have also the intelligence from the banks, where systems actually are connecting to networks, that there as well they have enough measures, there's enough protections against the bad guys. The program we're putting together, so-called CSP, is actually really aiming at this, really by enhancing, by having a certain number of principles on how to protect your environment, by developing new tools as well, by better controlling different flows that you have across the banks. We believe that over time, it's going to take, I think, a few years. Over time, we can all together making this environment a lot safer into us over time.
Alain, thank you very much for your thoughts. Have a great African Regional Conference.
Thank you. Pleasure.